Hello everyone and welcome to today's To Die For Friday video. Today we're going to be making a balloon shaped shaker card. I thought it'd be kind of a fun idea. Before we get into the card, however, I have changed the way my video camera is filming, so please let me know if this is too dark. I've noticed in my last couple of videos it seems like it's really hard to see what's going on in my videos because everything is very bright, but that could have just been maybe because it was super bright outside, or I don't know. So I have changed it, so hopefully you guys will be able to see the pattern papers without me having to zoom in a ton. But let me know if this is too dark. If you liked it the other way, let me know so I can adjust accordingly. Okay, so on to today's card. We're going to be using all of these products you see here. These are some Doodlebug sequins. I think I got them with kind of a variety pack quite a while ago. They came with, you know, some buttons and some letters and all that stuff. So I'm not 100% sure if these are Doodlebug, but I'm pretty sure they are. So I'm going to use some of those as well as a couple of these heart gems that I've had in my stash for quite a while. They're just a really pretty blue. I thought they might be fun to toss in there. So I'll pull one out so you can see what it looks like. Oh, here, let me actually zoom in. So just this fun little blue gem, as well as a happy birthday stamp, or excuse me, die from Simon Says Stamp, as well as the Simon Says Stamp balloons. We're going to be using these two bigger ones here. And our pattern paper is going to be from the Doodlebugs 6x6 paper pad Sugar Shop. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to my die cutting machine, cut everything out, and we'll come right back. Okay, so I have all of my pieces cut out here. I have my happy birthday here. I just cut it out with the leftover scraps from my card base. And then before I die cut it out, I colored it with my Copic fluorescent dull violet. I thought I'd give it a nice little pop of color on the front. Oops. And then I have just, I believe this is probably about 65-pound cardstock. Not exactly the most durable cardstock to use, but it's what I have on hand, so that's what I'm using. So I cut that out to make my card base, as well as the cover of our shaker, and then we're going to be using the back side of the Doodlebug pattern paper for the inside to give it just a little more pop of color, so it's not just white, seeing as how we aren't going to be super filling this with shaker type stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my thin score tape here, and we're going to stick. I also did die cut out the acetate that I'm using, and then I just trimmed it a little bit smaller than the actual balloon so that I could so it would fit in there nicely without any extra hangover. So if you have acetate, you're going to want to remove the plastic film if it has it on there. The first time I ever made a shaker card, I didn't know that the acetate had film on it until it started falling apart, and that's because the film was pulling away from the acetate. So I know it has it on there. Now it's just a matter of figuring out which side it's on, which is sometimes difficult to do. But I want to get my acetate taped down. So what I recommend is, if it does come with a protective piece of plastic on it, I think I found it, I'm just trying to get it up. I would recommend putting that on the upside, or on the side that goes inside your shaker card. This way you can pull it off when you're ready. So I think I have found it. I just want to get a little piece of it going. Of course, if I'd done this off camera, it would have pulled up super easy. Okay, so I now know which side the plastic barrier is on. So I'm going to go ahead and put my score tape all the way around. I think I'm just going to use my scissors to trim it. I'm not looking for this to go perfectly around because the acetate, because of the acetate, I just want to hold it in place. And then obviously we'll be putting 3D foam to hold the acetate to the card base. So whatever's hanging out will just stick to the foam tape. Oh no, I lost my thing. There we go. And just the tiniest bit right here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and peel all this up and set the acetate right on top. Line it up as best you can. As long as it's not hanging over, you're good. Oops. And as long as it's covering your window, you're good. I love making shaker cards. They're kind of a pain when you first start off, I think, until you know what you're doing and figure out how to best make it work for you. So because I cut off the little balloon bottom here on my acetate, I know it's hard to see because it's plastic, I know where the top is and where the bottom is, so I'm just going to kind of line that up so it's not overhanging, and it is overhanging just a little bit, but that's okay. I can trim that off because I now know it is not going to interfere with any of my shaker bits. So we're just gonna trim that little piece off. Okay, and then just stick it down. Now, I just realized what I should have done in order to line it up is I should have taken this piece and then stuck this on the inside so that I could line it up. But I can still do that. So we're going to hold that in place, and we're going to line this up. Actually, we're going to stick a little bit of adhesive. I'm going to get my removable adhesive, and we're going to stick some of that on this side, and we're going to line it up inside our window here. As best we can. Which of course would obviously be much easier if we didn't have the plastic on there. Okay. Now we're going to take the same score tape and we're just going to put some on the back of our balloon here, and then we can line it up and it will fit right where we want it to go. Now, like I said, if it's a little off, we're going to let it go. It's part of my New Year's goals is to just let it go. My OCD can sometimes get the better of me when it comes to cards. I am trying to fix that. So we're gonna just let it go. We're gonna line it up as best we can and just let it go. Let it go. And no, I'm not gonna start singing. Okay, so it's gonna be a little bit off, but like I said, we can fix that. I wanna line this up down here. And then we're just gonna shift this way just a smidge. Okay, looks good to me. So we're gonna just take one part of the score tape, so now it won't move, and then we'll remove the rest. So again, a little more complicated way of doing this. I should have done it the other way, but like I said, they can be kind of tricky. But once you get that one line of score tape in, it'll just fall right where you want it to go. And then we just rub off the remainder. Okay, so it will, once you get it all back into place, it should line up relatively nicely. Besides, and once you get all the shaker material in there, you really just won't even notice the gaps. Which there is one, but that's okay. Like I said, let it go. Let it go. And get out my big old, actually, I think I have skinnier tape. I do. So these are from Michael's, I believe. So we're just going to use these skinny ones here to line our window. You want to get it as close to the acetate as you can, or to the opening of the window without overhang. And I like this foam tape. I like the 3M stuff too, but I like this particularly because it's easy to kind of bend. So I can take one long piece and really bend it around. And that way we don't have too many gaps. And we're going to take a second piece. And I'm going to move all this stuff so you guys can see. I'll zoom in for you too. There you go. I seem to have bumped my light. There we go. And we're just going to bend it around. You know what I forgot to do? And I'm sure you guys are all sitting there going, you forgot, you forgot, you forgot. I forgot to take off the protective backing. See? This is easier to take off. Haha. Only on the videos, right? If I'd done all this off camera, it would have worked out perfectly. Only on the videos. Okay. And then And then we just take the scissors and we trim one piece in half. Makes it easier to work with because we obviously won't need a ton. And since we're not using a bunch of super tiny pieces, we don't have to worry so much about the gap at the top there, though there isn't very much one. Cut off a small little piece for the bottom here. We're gonna go in at an angle. And we're just gonna fill that in. Now if you want, you can cut off the bottom part of this balloon so that it's just a nice round, well, you can't cut it off in the die cut, but you could have done a circle, figured out some way so it wouldn't cut that out, what have you. I need just a corner piece, I think. And you know what, we're gonna get our tweezers for this because it's really hard to grab. And one last piece for the bottom part of our balloon. Okay. Now, you can do this one of two ways. You can put all your stuff inside here, or what I prefer to do is I like to set it all on here and then lay this on top, see how I like it, that sort of a thing. So let's zoom out just a little bit. There you go. We're just going to add a little bit of our sequins. I don't want the big chunks. We're going to add a couple of the flowers. Ooh, very staticky. Did not think about that. Dark flower in there as well. Oy, very staticky in my room. So I'm not sure I'm going to get those all back into the packaging. But I want to use these because I really do like them. I think they're really cute. Some squares. Take out. Okay. Some of the white. Some of the small white flowers. And then I think just a little bit of pink. I might have done a little too much blue, but that's okay. Okay. And then I think we might just do a couple of the hearts. That one seems to be stuck. I must have had some glue on my table. Of the jewel hearts. Okay. That looks about good. Now we're going to take a anti-static bag And we are going to wipe it along the edge of the adhesive here, just so nothing really sticks, but then also to help take off some of the static to the acetate. And then we're going to take one of our Swiffer things here. Come on. To help remove the excess powder. There we go. Okay, now just remove all the backing. Line that up. Even with the static bag on there. Balloon went a little off kilter, so try and. There we go. So we got a little shaker card. It's just a fun balloon shaker card. Now you could leave it as is, or you can take another piece, attach it to the back so that it'll open, but I'm thinking I'm just going to leave it as is, but I am going to add our happy birthday to the front here. I'm going to use some glossy accents if it's not all clogged up. And of course it is. I don't know where my pen is at. Must not have cleared it out like I should have. So we'll just use regular Tombow. I'm just going to lay this right across. And do the same thing with the happy. And there you go. A fun little happy birthday shaker card. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.